This is the second part in our series, our 3-part series on our longest trip yet in the van.
10 days.
And it's our holiday trip from Christmas to New Year's. We started off in Huntington Beach State Park in South Carolina, and we're heading to our second one, which is
New Bern
KOA Holiday.
But first, we need to get some groceries because we only bought enough groceries for that first week, for the first few nights.
Yes.
So I prepared a menu of a few things to make.
Chef Josh.
And I ordered for pickup at a Whole Foods in Wilmington, which was kind of halfway, well, maybe a lot less than halfway, but somewhere in the middle.
It's roughly halfway between Myrtle Beach
yeah.
and New Bern.
Right. But we finished packing up the groceries.
Okay.
And we got back on the road. And it took us a little longer to get there than we thought. We got there right at like 4:30, maybe a little bit after 4:30.
It was probably between 4:30 and 5.
Yeah.
And then the KOA office was closing at 5.
I mean, they were clearly packing up. They were clearly like starting to like prep for the late night arrivals. I walk in the door and she literally has our envelope in her hand. I was like, we're here. I said her name and her site, and they were like, oh, and she's like, oh yeah, here. And she was holding it. So it was pretty funny. And you know, they got us set up, drove us to our spot.
So the guy that was in the golf cart, you know, when they lead you to your spot, he was just hanging out next to the campsite, and I wasn't sure why.
As we were leveling. The whole leveling process.
Because that's what we do first.
Right.
And so finally I said, you know, is there anything that we needed to give you or something? And he's like, oh no, I just wanted to let you know that we replaced this pipe because the temperatures were still freezing overnight, and it had been colder in New Bern than it had been where we were. And I guess the previous camper had not left it dripping like they were asking campers to do, and the pipe burst, and they had just replaced it that day. And so he wanted to ask us to let it drip, which of course we were more than happy to do. Then there was a sun setting over the dock, which is really one of the main reasons we stopped at New Bern, was because we had seen all these really nice pictures of this campsite with the dock on the Neuse River.
And we got there just as the sunset.
Yeah.
That was the last thing the guy told us. He's like, if you hurry, you can see the sunset.
Yeah, and I had to like convince you.
Yeah.
You wanted to just keep setting up and stuff, and I was like, come on, we gotta see the sunset.
And we thankfully ran down there because it was an amazing sunset.
It was pretty.
Cold.
Cold but pretty.
Cold but pretty.
So then we finished getting set up.
Yep.
And
what did I cook for dinner that night?
I don't know.
Yeah, it wasn't anything exciting.
We just chilled out because it was getting cold again. Day 2, we were across the river from New Bern, and we have been working so hard to be nimble enough to just get in our van and, you know, pack up a few things and go. But because of the Arctic blast, we were less nimble than we were hoping to be on this trip. So I was looking on the map and I saw a bakery, and it was about a mile away, and I thought, that's a nice walk. Go walk to the bakery, get something, bring it back, or eat there, bring it back, whatever. So we went on a walk.
We got on a walk, yeah.
But there were these dags.
Yeah.
And they were, you know, it's hard to tell sometimes. Are they aggressive? What are they doing? They're running out of their property and they're surrounding you.
Well, and it came at multiple levels because at first it
Yeah.
was these little tiny dogs.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of like, oh,
Oh.
these little dogs think
But
they're
a
bigger than they
tiny
are.
dog can rip up
Yeah.
your ankle.
Yeah.
It's nothing to be careless about.
Right. No, I agree. But then the bigger dogs came.
Yeah, I mean, and I would say
Yeah.
they're medium sized. They're not
Yeah.
like a German Shepherd or anything.
Right.
But they were super aggressive looking.
Yeah.
So their owners were outside and they didn't do anything on our way there.
Mhm.
We got to the bakery. The bakery was lovely. The woman who works there is so lovely. The baked good items were so good.
Yeah.
But we decided to take them to
go
back.
Right.
And I also thought maybe if it looked like we had been, you know, we went and got something from a local merchant that, you know, maybe we wouldn't seem like these strangers walking through a neighborhood or whatever.
Mhm.
But it was worse on the way back. And there was a new dog this time,
Yeah.
and he got behind us, and that's where I just started, my plan fell apart. I had a plan. I had I'll make nice with the, you know, say hi and make nice with their owners who hopefully they're subservient to or something.
Yeah.
Totally lost the plot, and I backed into the driveway across the street from them, which inadvertently ended up being a good move because for some reason that dog didn't think it could
Go on that property.
go on that property.
Yeah.
And then the neighbor or the people who own the dog finally slowly came
Oh my gosh.
over to get their dog, and they were like, sorry, and I just did not let them have the satisfaction of
Right.
having an apology that was not meant.
And when you say slowly, it was like they
my
meandered.
gosh.
They took as long as they could possibly take to come deal with their dog.
Yeah, so nothing terrible ended up happening, thank goodness. That was a bummer because I wanted to go back to the pizza place the next day
All right.
and get a slice. So anyway, didn't let it ruin our day. We had another, I think we tried to go out to the dock earlier to find birds
Right.
and
we
take
did
more
some
pictures.
we did some time lapses that
Yeah.
night, and we didn't find that many birds, unfortunately. There was a bunch, but they're way
They
out.
were far, they were
Yeah.
too far even for our longer lenses, and which is fine. It's
Yeah.
a really wide river.
It was also a great spot for squirrels. There were so many squirrels.
There were squirrels.
I made a squirrel friend sitting
Yeah.
outside.
So yesterday we ran out of microphone battery.
Technical difficulties.
So we're recording the rest of
Right.
this episode.
We
got a new neighbor.
We got a new neighbor, which was really strange because
We were on the end.
we were on the end of like the
this
premium
row,
sites.
like the second level premium.
Right. And premium where it's cool because it had like a little grill. It had a full grill.
And a brick patio.
A brick patio and seating that we didn't really use much at all.
because it was too chilly.
Yep. And then a huge Class A gets parked in the spot right next to us.
Yeah.
And again, that whole row of
Was
that
empty.
road, it was like E road or something like that. The whole row was empty, and that's where they put us. So we don't know if there's a reason behind it. Like maybe the water was better there. I don't know.
Maybe it's helpful for their utilities or something.
But you know, after the experience with the dogs, the trains, which I don't remember
Yeah.
if we've talked about yet, but the trains at night, they pulled in and their heater was louder. You heard their
It was
heater.
for me. I'm more
Yeah.
sensitive
Yeah.
to sound for reasons that I don't know about. You don't have to diagnose me in the comments. And you know, it was just building here and there, building, and then the neighbor. I mean, the neighbor was a nice person,
Nothing against them.
but he had a like a burst pipe because of the frozen weather. So he had the RV tech out there. So it was just noise.
Right.
And I was having sensory overload.
Right. So day 3.
So day 3 was boring because we didn't want to walk to and see the dogs again.
I think at this point, our mattresses started up because the night
Oh,
before,
that's right.
that night before the 3rd day, you, on top of the sensory overload, you were like, this mattress situation.
Well, what happened was we have our original seats. We've put 4 inches of foam on top of that. Still wasn't really enough because the original seats, which we'll get into in our review, could be better. And so we added another 2 inches. Super comfortable. My problem was I kept bumping my head into my overhead cabinets, and it was driving me crazy. So I just, right before bed, just, yeah, all upset, just took it off. But you know what? I didn't bump my head after that,
That's
so
true.
I was happy.
So that day we did not too much.
No, I didn't do that much. But that's fine.
Yeah.
I did try taking our cat out to the dock.
Oh, she did not appreciate it.
Nope, not an adventure cat. Likes hanging out in the van.
With us. The last night
Yeah.
at New Bern, we didn't do much today. I went out for another sunset time-lapse adventure. That was a nice, I think that was the better time-lapse, but there were so many more people that the time-lapse has people in it. So
were they silhouetted?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool actually. But... So next morning, after our last night,
time to leave.
Time to go. We had a, what was it, a noon checkout?
Yeah.
And we got on the road a little early, which again is exciting for us when we make a plan to leave by a certain time and we get on and we do. You know, we're getting so much better at the pack up that I think we underestimate ourselves and gives ourselves enough time now.
Yeah.
So, and we had full hookup there, so it was really, everything was already kind of set up.
It was really,
so we just...
Yeah, we didn't have to stop by the dump station to leave.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So we got on the road by 10:30.
We did.
And the reason was we had a few exciting things that we had planned for
before getting to the next
campsite, which we will talk about
in the next episode.
Also, I'm Josh.
I'm Nat. Oh yeah, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Hello.
By the way, this is Nat and Josh, the show.
The show.
The show.
The movie.
The movie.
Like, you know, it's like Weird, the Al Yankovic story.
Van, the Nat and Josh story.
You'll need to continue on your personal device.
Siri,
you see this?
No one talked to you.
I've had enough.
Me too.
Warm up exercise like what?
Bleepity boppity boopity boo.
Let me try that. Bleepity bloppity bloopity blue. Is
no,
that
it's bleepity bloppity bloopity blue.
Bleepity bloppity bloopity blue. I really have this like long-term dream of like leash training her and like putting her in a backpack with an open top, and she can just kind of come out and peek out.
That's your long-term goal for her. That is not her long-term goal for herself.
This is definitely...
Her long-term goal is that we just stay in the van or on the couch at home and hang out. That's it. That's her bucket list.
Her...
Oh, well, that and eat treats and have catnip.
I'm teaching her how to twirl. Anyway, okay. So...
I'm sorry, but there's a cute floof over there.
That's
too far to see.
That is flooftastic.
It is so cute. Its little tail is curling over. Anyway, it's like a cookies and cream dog.